books, Sir Paul McCartney writes about the process behind the music he made with the Beatles, Wings, and others. So he's like the main story. A treat for all senses. And then we have a World War II story of survival, exploring the fabric of nature. Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland celebrate their Disney movie anniversaries. Book buyers picks our vigilant immune system and games on the Xbox Series S. So it's just a little bit of everything in here. Oh, look at that. Persimmons. My goodness. because their unprecedented popularity had a big hand in commercializing the genre. When the Beatles disbanded in 1970, McCartney was the first of the Fab Four to release a solo album, Untitled Mccartney. In 1971, he formed Wings, for which he wrote a number of monster hits, including Silly Love Songs, Jet, and Band on the Run. In his post-Wings solo career, he collaborated with Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Johnny Cash, Elvis Costello, Kanye West, and many others, which often resulted in more chart toppers. Born James Paul McCartney on June 18, 1942, in Liverpool, England, he won a total of 18 Grammy Awards for his work with the Beatles and Wings, and in his solo career, and one Academy Award for Let It Be for the documentary of the same name. He's got a string of 22 #1 Billboard chart hits, 9 after the Beatles disbanded, and 46 in the Billboard Hot 100 list. In 1965, McCartney, along with the rest of the members of the Beatles, received a member of the Order of the British Empire medals, and in 1997, McCartney was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II for his service to music. In his new book, The Lyrics, edited by Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Paul Muldoon, McCartney discusses how the lyrics of 154 of his songs, written from 1956 to the present, were developed. He also addresses the times in which this sweeping collection was written. Even die-hard Beatles and McCartney fans are sure to learn new and interesting facts and stories surrounding his life and music. It's the closest thing yet to a McCartney autobiography. The Connection recently caught up with McCartney to discuss the book, songwriting, and more. Because the Costco Connection, because the lyrics touches all different time periods in your career and your life, it must have been a long trip down memory lane. How did it come about? Paul McCartney. It was suggested that I work with Paul Muldoon and give him loads of information, as much as I can remember about each song. To tell the truth, I didn't know it was work. He's a great guy and great to work with. It was about 5 years of on and off, meeting up when I was in New York and just chatting. When you talk to someone about the songwriting process or the stories around it, you find yourself getting very interested. You think, oh, I'd forgotten about that, or, oh yeah, that's how I did that. Like Blackbird, I'd kind of half forgotten what I'd had in mind, a civil rights issue. Once I was talking about it, it kind of came flooding back. Costco Connection. What was the process like for you? Paul McCartney. It was just a couple of friends sitting and talking, and the more we got to know each other, the more we could talk about the act of writing. Him being a well-known poet, we had a lot of things in common. When we discussed the first song I wrote, which was Lost My Little Girl, that turned into a kind of therapy session. I thought I was just writing a little pop song when I was 14, but I'd just lost my mother, so it seemed to have much deeper meaning. shines a light into wartime darkness experienced by fighter pilot Joe Moser. The name of the book is Lightning Town. Long Island-based author Tom Clavin adores history. He's written or co-written 18 books on topics ranging from the end of the Vietnam War to Sioux warrior Chief Red Cloud to 1950s Vegas superstars Louis Prima and Keely Smith. His latest, Studio Ghibli in Japan. What I wanted to show is that everything about classic Disney films is made by hand and from the heart. With Cinderella and Alice, I wanted everyone to get access to beautiful art that Mary Blair and her parents created. Oh, that's nice. I always loved the Cinderella movie. When I was younger, I had it on VHS. Xbox Series S ups the games with speed and amazing graphics. What does Microsoft's